The pack has been working hard to bring A Monster Calls, a story of grief, acceptance, and truth to life. This week, reporter Katie Smith got to sit down with stage manager Emma Frith to find out more.
Thanks, guys. Today I'm here with junior Emma Frith to talk a little bit about UIL Theater's upcoming performances. So, Emma, how are you today?
I'm pretty good. How are you?
I'm doing well. Thank you for asking. So, I know that you are the stage manager for UIL this year. What made you decide to apply to be the stage manager this year?
I really love stage managing. I kind of found out about, I started theater my freshman year coming into high school and kind of just fell in love with all of theater tech and everything that it has to do with it. Once I found out that I was a terrible actor and that was not my route. And so then I found stage managing and I have some like great friends that I've made throughout it. And it's just been super fun. And, when theater shut down last year, throughout this whole year in the pandemic, it was really sad. And so then when I realized that we were going to be able to do UIL, I sprung on that right away because anything to do with theater right now is just something I want to do. So,
Of course, definitely. And what would you say is the biggest challenge this year? Because, like you said, it is different, and theater has been shut down for a while.
right. No, it's definitely been like weird getting back into things like and having in person rehearsals and everything like that and like working with everyone. There's a lot of restrictions that we're under too, which is really hard to do with theater, because you're up close next to people, especially tech too. We're always working hands on with things next to each other, and it's can be difficult like trying to keep distance away from people, but we're doing the best to make it work. But I'd say definitely like the regulations also that UIL has put on us, we're only able to rehearse for a certain amount of hours every week, which is difficult, but yeah, we're making it work. So
Wow, yeah, it's really interesting to see how different electives are having to handle all of the regulations and stuff. And I know that you are also on the varsity dance team, the celebs.
yeah.
How has it been trying to balance those two things, especially in the pandemic?
It's been hard. For dance, I'm up at 6:30 every morning. I get to the school by 7. I dance for 2 hours. I go home. I do all of my schoolwork. Then I go back to the school for another 2 hours at the end of the night to do theater. And I've had some performances for LEPs, and like keeping all those dates and making sure they don't interflict with theater. It's been definitely hard. And then I also work almost all weekends at my job because I'm not able to work after school or before school or anytime during the week because I'm so busy with theater. But it's definitely been hard to keep everything under control. But I just found with communication and keeping a clear mindset that everything ends up working out. And so, yeah.
Definitely just, yeah, trying to stay organized, trying to keep your head in
Right.
the game, all of those things. So, going back to the UIL show, I know that this show is pretty heavy, has some pretty interesting themes. What do you think about it might most resonate with the CPHS community?
It's a hard show to watch, and I think for me at least, I always tear up at the end. Always. With some really big parts of it. Death and coming to terms with your fears and stuff like that. And I definitely, we follow Connor, who is a young teenage boy in the show, and I think you definitely like relate to him when he's having this he's having this crisis of not knowing where his fear lies and like if he should give into these fears or if he shouldn't. And I think that can definitely translate to everyone's life in this pandemic, especially. And so, but yeah, I
That's
think definitely a more, not the most relatable show, but definitely are some parts in it where you're like, yeah, no, I totally get that. So,
Yes, and that's an amazing connection that you just drew, just with the unknowingness of the time that we're in. Definitely. So that's actually all of the questions that I have for you today. Is there anything else that you would like to add?
no, not at all.
Well, thank you so much for taking the time out of your day to do this interview. I appreciate it.
Of course, it was
And
so much fun.
thank you. And back to you guys at the desk.
Thank you, Katie. The UIO competition is on Wednesday, March 10th, so be sure to tell the cast to break a leg.